Good day and gratitude, family. This is Face the Nation with Bold and Unchained. And we're back again. We apologize for the slight delay. However, we're back again with another reading of African American heroes, sheroes, inventors, scientists, the book of gratitude and knowledge. And I would like to give my disclaimer that Bold Boutique is here, Bold and Unchained is here to assist in the uncovering and the confrontations against the many agendas, operations, events that are against sabotages that are against Black America. And we are here to assist Black media and Black America towards that end. And now to give my copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. The fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Yeah, I'm going to have to, I got to do my work too, right? Yeah, we all have work to do. And I just want to thank everyone, for the small growth, which is really humongous. It's small because the seed starts out small. That mustard seed that we learned about. So we have that type of thing going here. It's like the small burst of a star. Or how the fireworks are. It starts out as a small spark, and before you know it, you have a huge kaleidoscope of colors. That's what we're working with here. That's what we're generating here. And the remembrance, the recollections, the reviving of Black America's focus. Our focus on ourselves, it should be our goal. That is our goal. And it should be our, unanimous goal to unite and heal our people. I mean, let's just, be honest with ourselves. As a people, everyone is here on this planet at the same time. However, everyone is here to be kind and be civil and human to your fellow man. However, every man should protect and provide for his people. And every man does. Generally, except the Black man. That's just what I see. A lot of our weaker Black men. Let me make a distinction right there. Because I, myself, personally, the weaker link of our men, the weaker link of Black men, them weak links out there, they aren't the totality of the Black man for me. They just are what I call them, our weakest links. Yeah, and there's a whole lot of them out there that hurt, that abandonment, we're not even talking about the innate scars, the generational scars. We're talking about hurt, abandonment, neglect, indoctrination, all of those things right there that are in our present that have broken us. It's a huge wound. It's a huge wound. And I suggest you get your alcohol and peroxide and let's try to heal ourselves. I mean, can't nobody tell you how to do it. But just know, if you got the call to be a beacon of light for your people, do it. I guess if you're a beacon of light for other people, do it too. But I'm not speaking about other people. So you probably in the wrong class. Now, this here is our class of reading, because that's my specialty. That was my specialty in school. I can't take you no further than adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, the basic level of math. So again, you in the wrong class if that's why you here. My little minuscule knowledge of numerology, honey, 1 plus 1 ain't gonna be 2. But I digress. But let's get into this book here, because we are making strides, because we have read in our on our Midnight with the Ancestors journey. We have read Red Summer, and we are now reading Racial Violence in Kentucky, 1865 to 1940. However, during the midday, I would like for it to be mid in the morning, maybe like 10 something, mid-morning, but that's still too early for a lot of us and stuff. And even I don't get up and sit down. When I get up, I'm doing things, so noontime is just good. It's working out now, barely, but it's working out now. And after our Midnight with the Ancestors, they gave me this route for the next day, because over the nighttime, we have time to process all that trauma, all that torture, that we reading about in those books. I didn't know none of that. I'll take out these glasses right here. Yeah, these glasses are different than these. Got a little Fred Sanford going on here, huh? Because that little thing fell off and it scratched my nose right there. So I'm wearing those right there. So let's just come out of those anyway, because we finna read soon. But anyway, we just have a purpose in life. Black people, Black America. And our purpose is to heal our people. No. Don't get to talking about other people and stuff, because you ain't harming other people. You're not harming other people. Matter of fact, people that's caught within your final, your foremost and final focus. The people caught within those are cared for. You don't harm those people. You help those people. Now, people on the outside, they about don't want to be within your focus anyway. So don't look at it like just because we on Bold and Unchained, like many other channels, are bringing the focus of Black America, the Black agenda, because we do have one, to the forefront, that we are neglecting or ignoring or placing other people to a lower standard, because we're not. We're not. Those people are already solidified up there. Those people already got their foundations. They already got their pillars and their laps of luxury. So it ain't nothing that Black media and us small channels is saying that's going to affect those at the top to where the point you can't let it assist you in your growth. Because we're not the ones that's going to affect those at the top. The people that be. Cosmic energy and Mother Gaia is going to handle that end. Oh, yeah. But here on this plane, we do have a purpose. Yeah, we do have a purpose, and it's to heal our people. And we actually got 2 purposes on this planet. Each people, yeah, have a purpose. But I know my people, because I'm speaking about me right here, have 2 purposes on this plane. And that is to heal my people, help heal my people, assist in any way I can to heal my people, and have Black babies. Have Black babies. That's right. Now, all of a sudden, don't say that. Matter of fact, white folks had it right all along. Yeah, white folks had it right all along. Yep. Let them stay pure with them. Don't have nothing but white babies. Don't sleep with no white folks. And let us stay with us. But see, the diabolical thing in it all is we fought so hard to mingle and marry and integrate. We fought so hard for that. But it was to our own detriment. It It was to our own detriment because one, it lessened our numbers of having our babies. Love ain't got nothing to do with this. Love for self, if you talking about love on this channel. And second of all, so it lowered our birth rates because all those babies we were supposed to be having with each other. Second of all, it enhanced the illusion of inclusion. See, it gave us the illusion that, oh yeah, we part of society now. We equal. We're equal now. That's what it did, you know. And we will find out in some of our other readings that that's just what it is. An illusion, because we are not yet equal. No. And when we delve deeper into this rabbit hole, we will find out that we will never be equal because we dominate. Yes, we dominate. Ask the sun. Don't ask me. Ask the sun. Ask the cosmos. Ask Mother Gaia. Now, we know the sun, the cosmos, and Mother Gaia loves life. They love life. The sun doesn't intentionally hurt anyone. The sun gives life. The sun is giving life. They used to call us children of the sun. I didn't know that either. But that's what they call black people, children of the sun. So, you know, this whole diabolical scheme right here, it didn't even have to boil down to this peak. You know, like it boiled down. And once it's boiled down, it's just a little heat. Just a little heat like that right there. It didn't even have to get to that. But white people just was not sincere with Black America. White America wasn't sincere with Black America. So now we have this, oh, you're right, it's a melting pot. Oh, yeah, it definitely is a melting pot. But when it all boiled down, who you think gonna be in the residue and who not? So see, now white folks done changed their mind. After that, no, you can't sleep with our women. How dare you sleep with a white woman? And blaming rape on Black men in them books and stuff. Blaming rape on Black men that they've slept with. Knowing that they people were going to put out that, going to sick them. We're going to put out that whistle. And 5 days later, it was going to be 5,000, 10,000 white men, boys, little babies. A pregnant woman was that one of the things. Women were coming to the lynches with their babies and stuff to watch one man being hung. Why? It didn't have to culminate to all of this. Yeah, I'll be forgetting about that. I'm so used to it, that the ambulance, the sirens and stuff over here. But we do want to be respectful of, you know, our accounting to the ancestors, you know, for what they've endured. See, this right here is not even about us like that. You know, we all pawns. Because what happened to the ancestors should be foremost and final in our minds and our psyches. We go days, hours, months, years, decades without even thinking about our ancestors. You know, it's like the indoctrination that we've had just carried us on. It just carried us along. And we just let it. And I'm here to just say, Black America, we can't do that no more. No, the rest of America, the rest of the people in this country, they need to know that we know that they ass been setting us up all along. For all the love. Couldn't somebody say, hey, y'all know white people ain't sincere, don't you? You know they still trying to railroad y'all. Couldn't somebody say something? You built this whole illusion up. You got us in it. Where we believe this whole illusion of inclusion, thinking we included. So after reading a lot of our during our midnight with the ancestors, you know, and it's really deep and stuff. And I thank the ancestors for giving us that, especially at night, because it gives us a time to process the hurt. the unbelief, the emotions that we feel upon learning about the lynchings and the roastings, the time that we can take to process that, during the night. And, we go to sleep with our ancestors on our minds and our hearts and our psyches, and our ancestors, they appreciate that. And then in the morning, it's a new day. I don't even sometimes remember my dreams and stuff, so if I dream about them and stuff, I really don't remember them. But when the morning comes, I feel better. I feel like I know somewhere. I think I be traveling, with them dreams and stuff. And then at noon every day, we will read about the love. So it's like we're getting both ends of the spectrum, Noontime, we're getting the legacy. Yeah, the legacy of love. But at midnight with the ancestors, we're getting, the lynchings and the horribleness, the torture. So we're getting both ends of the aspect, and we got to do this until we get to a place where we're at another era in Black history. This right here is just a workbook that I had in my granddaughter's little library over there. And that's mainly where I picked these up from. When we started doing these right here for learning about our heroes and our sheroes, I just went to their little library and got some of the books and stuff where I was teaching them, and reading some of this stuff to them. Because it's important that they know, and we got to do it repetitiously. Every time. Make it a part of our lifestyle. We don't come to Nana House and watch Peppa Pig and all of them. We don't come to Nana House with that. We come to Nana House and we watch Marva Collins, Westside Preparatory School. We watch Jane Pittman. We watch Deacons for Defense. We watch certain movies depending on which grandchild is with Nana. Because the babies can't watch, some stuff. But the bigger grandbabies can, the bigger grandkids can. So it just depends. But this is something we have to do. And as we see now, school ain't even the same. School is not even the same. If we'd have listened to Malcolm, we wouldn't even be struggling with this school system because we would be teaching our own children. So now, it's like come around again where we have another opportunity, possibly our last opportunity, to grab a hold of what we can so that we can teach our own babies now. That's all it is. And get your books where you can. When you see free books, you get them. Look through them and get them. You start up your personal library for your grandbabies. They would love it. I don't know. Okay, let's see. So this right here is, it's an activity book. A Good Apple Social Studies activity book for grades 5 through 9. And see, it's just something simple. We just finna read about some African American heroes, their impact on United States history. Okay, let's start at the beginning here. I'm just gonna go through it. I got 2 books like this. We haven't done this one, I don't think, but we'll see. Great, because some of these books I haven't even read them. In the past few years, I started up my library. So see, it's a process. Just get started with it and come on, let's read. Great Black Patriots of the Revolutionary War. Let's read this here first. Oh, it's a lot of them. We're going to read through each and every one of them. Some names you may know. I can't say I know any. Ooh-wee. Wow, this is going to be awesome. Let's read this here. Black soldiers of the Revolutionary War showed great courage as they fought bravely for the love of the country that continued to deny them their freedom. The country, America, is talking about America, refusing to give Black people their freedom. But Black people fought so bravely for America. Black people, we put it all on the line for America. It wasn't nothing we wouldn't do to be a part of America sincerely. be a part of America. That's all we wanted. We was here. We didn't want to be treated like cattle. We wanted to be a part of America. So when we had a chance to fight for America, we did. And you know what happened when our soldiers came back home. But I digress. Prince Whipple was a wealthy African lad who was sent to America at the age of 10 to get an education. Instead, he was captured and sold into slavery by a sea captain at Baltimore, Maryland. He earned his freedom by serving in the Revolutionary War. He was one of the soldiers who crossed the Delaware River with George Washington. Prince Whipple. He was a prince. Prince Whipple, W-H-I-P-P-L-E. Ooh, Barzillai Lou. B-A-R-Z-I-L-L-A-I. Lou, L-E-W. Barzillai Lou was born in Groton, Massachusetts in 1743 to free parents. He first fought in the French and Indian War, then as a soldier in the Continental Army. He performed dangerous and daring guerrilla warfare against the British Redcoats. I think I would like to know more about the Redcoats because I've heard that several times. And the Redcoats are coming, the Redcoats are coming. Maybe I should underline it. If you know, tell us. Seymour Burr, S-E-Y-M-O-U-R. Seymour Burr, B-U-R-R, was born a slave in the state of Connecticut. He tried to join the British Army to fight for his freedom. The British had promised freedom to all slaves who would join their army and fight for them. Seymour was captured when he attempted to join the British. He later joined the Continental Army as a soldier. He fought at Bunker Hill with the 7th Massachusetts Regiment. He was granted his freedom after the war and settled in Canton, Massachusetts. Yeah, Canton, C-A-N-T-O-N. That was Seymour Burr. Ooh, Lemuel Haynes. Lemuel. L-E-M-U-E-L. Lemuel. Lemuel Haynes. H-A-Y-N-E-S. Was born in 1753. He had a white mother and a black father. When he was young, his mother deserted him. He was reared by a deacon in the Congregational Church. Lemuel later became a minister. His training for the ministry was interrupted when the Revolutionary War began. He became a soldier in the Continental Army. After the war, he completed his training for the ministry and became a licensed preacher in the Congregational Church. Oh, and as we see now, this here, the Continental Army, there was Prince Whipple. No, I didn't say he was in the Continental Army. It was Barzillai Lou, Seymour Burr, Lemuel Haynes. Oh, and Saul Matthews, S-A-U-L. Saul Matthews was a soldier and spy for the Continental Army. He was born a slave in Virginia, but earned his freedom after serving in the Revolutionary War. Once, during the war, he penetrated the British lines and gathered important information for the Continental Army. Because of his daring deed, Matthew was granted his freedom by the Virginia legislature. Continental Army. Oh, those right there is just some. Joseph Ranger was a seaman in the Virginia Navy during the Revolutionary War. He was a free man from Virginia. Joseph rendered many years of service to the Navy. He later served on 4 of Virginia's warships. After his discharge in 1787, he was paid a pension of $96 a year and a 100-acre tract for his services to the Navy. And that was Joseph Ranger. And see, this was 1787, 1743, 1753. Samuel Charlton was a slave, but when his master died, he was set free. He became a soldier in the Continental Army at the age of 16. He was sent to the war to substitute for his master. Charlton fought in battles at Brandywine, Germantown, and Monmouth. 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 The Battle of Monmouth on June the 28th, 1778, was the last major battle in the North. Monmouth. Monmouth. And that was the last major battle in the North, 1778. Then we have Hector. We have Edward Hector. Hector. Edward Hector showed great courage as a soldier in the Battle of Brandywine Creek in 1777. Once, when General George Washington's soldiers had to retreat, Hector was in charge of the ammunition wagon when he was ordered to abandon the wagon and retreat. Hector did not retreat. Instead, he picked up the muskets, the guns, that had been left by the fleeing soldiers and retired safely with the ammunition wagons. He performed such a courageous act that attempts were made for him to receive a pension. But it wasn't until 1833, 1 year before his death, that the Pennsylvania legislature voted him a pension of $40 for his services during the war. Edward Hector. Yep. And those are the great feats he did at the Battle of Brandywine Creek in 1777. We have Oliver Cromwell. Oliver Cromwell was a brave soldier in the Revolutionary War. He was one of the soldiers who crossed the Delaware River on Christmas night in 1776 in a surprise attack on the British troops. At the age of 100, he found great pleasure in telling his wartime adventures. Oliver Cromwell served in the war longer than most of other soldiers. After his discharge from the Army, he received a pension of $96 a year in recognition for his outstanding military service. That's Oliver Cromwell. James Armstead, Armstead. James Armstead was a slave from New Kent County, Virginia. While serving in the Continental Army, he carried out a dangerous spy mission. He collected valuable information concerning the British forces. After the war in 1786, the Virginia legislature granted him his freedom. In 1816, he bought 40 acres of land. 3 years later, he was granted a pension of $40 and an award of $100 by the Virginia legislature. And this was in 1816. Now, I'm noticing that some soldiers received $96 pension. And these were all black soldiers, African-American soldiers. And some soldiers received $40 pension. But I digress. I ain't gonna get on that whole tirade right there. And you know, it was one of the others who received the land and his pension. Oh, that was Joseph Ranger. After his discharge in 1787, he was paid a pension of $96 a year. It looks like that's the highest. And he was given a 100-acre tract, 100 acres of land for his services to the Navy. And if you wonder what Joseph Ranger did, he was a seaman in the Virginia Navy during the Revolutionary War. He was a free man from Virginia. and he rendered many years of service to the Navy. He later served on 4 of Virginia's warships. And that's why he was awarded such the highest pension and the 100 acre of land. I looked up some things about, I think it was the warships. And I know that, no, that wasn't warships. I think that was air carriers. Because the United States got the most air carriers with 11. I think. I don't know if that's the same as warships, though. I'm learning too, right? You know, if you know, tell me. But, okay, Caesar Tarrant. Caesar Tarrant. Tarrant. Caesar Tarrant was a slave who served as a seaman in the Revolutionary War. He piloted the ship, the Patriot, under the command of Commodore Taylor. During a battle at the Cape of Virginia, he steered the ship with great skill. On November the 14th, my brother's birthday, 1786, the Virginia legislature granted him his freedom. Tarrant accumulated a large estate and became an influential member of his community. In 1830, Virginia made a large land grant to his heirs. Oh, so in 1830, Virginia gave a lot of land to his heirs. Yep, he was a free man. He steered. He piloted the ship, the Patriot. Yeah. Salem Poor. Salem Poor was a distinguished soldier in the Battle of Charlestown during the Revolutionary War. In this battle, he earned the praise of his officers as a brave and gallant soldier. Salem Poor. And that's all it said about him. Let's put a little asterisk by his name. Peter Salem. Prosperity. Peter Salem was a veteran soldier in the battles of Lexington, Concord, and Bunker Hill. He was an ex-slave who had been granted his freedom to serve in the Revolutionary War. In the Battle of Bunker Hill, he fired the shot that killed British Commander Major John Pitcairn. That's Pitcairn. This gave the Continental Army many advantages. And his name was Peter Salem. James Robinson. James Robinson was awarded a gold medal for military valor as a soldier in the Battle of Yorktown. I didn't even know about all these battles and wars. And he also served in the War of 1812 when he helped General Andrew Jackson defeat the city of New Orleans against the British. He also served in the War of 1812 when he helped General Andrew Jackson defend the city of New Orleans against the British. After the Civil War, when he became free, he lived in Detroit until his death at 115 years of age. He lived to be 115. William Flora. William Flora was a valiant soldier in the Revolutionary War. He fought bravely at the Battle of Great Bridge when he held off the British forces and stood his ground alone by himself. William Flora didn't need nobody. He wasn't going nowhere. He was going to hold it down on his own, and he did. We're going to put an asterisk by his name, William Flora, so we can look him up. William Flora was a valiant soldier of the Revolutionary War. He fought bravely at the Battle of Great Bridge when he held off the British forces and stood his ground alone. And we want to know, how did he end up alone? How long was he there alone? What happened? Then we have Tack Sisson, Tackson, Tack Sisson. Tack Sisson was an American soldier who showed great bravery when he participated in a raid and helped to capture the commander of the British troops at Newport, Rhode Island. Oh, so they set up the sting and the raid, and he was there. Tex Sisson and helped to capture the commander of the British troops at Newport, Rhode Island. Revolutionary War. Ooh, this is awesome. Look, and as we learn, and we know this is the children's, the Garvin's book. We have the names up here: Prince Whipple, Seymour Burr, Christmas Addicts, Barzelia Lou, and then we have the information cards. We can play games with the grandbabies. Match them. Who's who? Wow. I know, right? Still come through. Well, you know I love crossword puzzles. Yes, I love crossword puzzles. That's how I got my daughters to read. Yeah, we used to raise them. It was so fun, but it was also teaching because they're not afraid to read. Yeah. You know, we have this fear of reading. We have a fear of reading. It's true. I didn't know because I loved it reading. That's why I can't cook. Because I'd be in a corner reading. I'd be sitting on my chair reading, and I forgot about everything but the chicken. But yeah, we are natural readers, though. And then, you know, our ancestors created reading and math and astrology and music, everything. So we have a natural ability, a natural instinct to read. It was just broken out of us because during slavery, we weren't allowed to read. But now, baby, we can read, you know, and the surety. You know, that's the thing about it, you know, the surety, the manipulation to put it in a book. Because black people can't read. Black people don't want to read. See, that was the downfall because we're going to read any and everything to do with black people. Yeah. Oh, and this right here is the Declaration of Independence. Let's read about this. Because, you know, a lot of our education systems, they cheated us. You know, some of them just passed us, didn't make sure we understood or comprehended, you know, what we were reading. Some of them didn't care, you know, the education system. Some of them, you know, some of y'all, some of us got some really well-to-do education, you know, depends on where we were at. But, you know, they didn't care if we understood the chronological order of things, you know, in history. You know, all these things right here matter. And when we don't know these things, you know, it just culminates our anxiety to read. You know, so yeah, so we finna overcome all of that. FTDS. Fuck the dumb shit. We love to read. So let's read this right here, the Declaration of Independence. July the 4th. Yeah. When it started, black people were slaves. How could we forget? For a whole 100 years. July the 4th is a holiday in the United States celebrated with parades, ball games, picnics, vacations, fireworks, food, soda, blankets on the grass and stuff. Everybody coming out, you know, the 4th of July. On July the 4th, 1776, the United States declared itself free from British rule. A meeting of delegates from the colonies met as the Second Continental Congress to draw up and adopt the document known as the Declaration of Independence. The date of July the 4th has been celebrated ever since as the birth of the United States. And our people was enslaved at the same time, before and after. The Declaration of Independence has been ranked as one of the greatest documents ever produced by man. It tells of the reasons why the colonies wanted freedom from British rule. It also stated that all people have certain rights, including the right to say how they will be governed. On July the 2nd, the Congress debated a rough draft of the Declaration written by Thomas Jefferson. Some passages was removed from the original document. The part that condemned King George of Great Britain for encouraging slave trade was deleted. Let me read that again. Some passages were removed from the original document. The part that condemned King George of Great Britain for encouraging slave trade was deleted. Now, who think King George of Great Britain was a hero? Because they didn't put it in the Declaration of Independence, so you'll know that he wasn't a hero and he encouraged slave trade. The original Declaration of Independence is on display in the National Archives building in Washington, D.C. Ooh, we need a highlighter for that. We might need to put that on our bucket list. And that's the original Declaration of Independence. Yeah, we might need to do some research before, because things do change over time, Books are updated more and more, So still use discernment. It is sealed under glass with two other important documents, the Bill of Rights and the United States Constitution. Oh, I thought I heard someone say there was two United States Constitution. Oh, honey, we got to keep going. We got to keep going. Yes. When the Declaration of Independence was signed and adopted, it freed the colonies. But for thousands of slaves, freedom was still a word with little meaning. The second Ooh-wee. Honey, baby child. Yes. Yeah. Let's see here. It said, when the Declaration of Independence was signed and adopted, it freed the colonies. But for thousands of slaves, freedom was still a word with little meaning. The second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence states this. Now, this is the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence. Do anybody got the Declaration of Independence? Maybe it's in here. We're going to keep going. If you got it, share yours too, so we can kind of, learn these things. Okay. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Oh, maybe I didn't read that right. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator, certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Let's keep going. For many African Americans, the Declaration of Independence was a promising step toward equality when it stated that all men are created equal and all have God-given rights, including liberty. So for many African Americans, the Declaration of Independence was a promising step towards equality when it stated that all men are created equal and have God-given rights, including liberty. Now, see, just it stating that all men are created equal, African Americans believed it. We believed that that statement right there would come true. It was meant when it was said, when it was written. We sincerely believed it was true. And we waited and waited and waited. And the Declaration of Independence, the 4th of July, that was like 1776. Black people weren't free to 1865. So we waited 100 years waiting because we were sincere in believing the words that were said and, and written. But it wasn't for us. It wasn't for us. No, that was for the flowers in the front. That was for all of that. That wasn't for what's behind the fence, the fruits behind the fence that everybody go pick off of and eat and throw the seeds back in there and, No, this wasn't. But we're going to keep going and stuff so we can learn how it all went together. And, we did get the illusion of inclusion. So we'll keep going. Yeah, this is going to be some good. All right. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. I don't think so. I think everybody else wrong. For many African Americans, the Declaration of Independence was a promising step toward equality when it stated that all men are created equal and all have God-given rights, including liberty. Since so many African Americans had fought so courageously during the Revolutionary War, many people argued that they deserted their freedom. They felt that since the war had been fought to gain freedom for all, that the Declaration of Independence should apply to everyone. Was they saying that because African Americans fought in the Revolutionary War, they deserted their fight for freedom for themselves? And so they felt like since, they was over there fighting for, freedom for all, they should automatically be freed, which makes sense to me. That, they should automatically be freed. And then who enslaves people anyway? At some point, you got to become humankind, human. You got to have some humanity to you. It has been over 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and African Americans continue to struggle for freedom and equality. I thought we was okay. I surely did. I was in the illusion, honey. I thought we was all right. I thought black people was okay. I thought Black America and white America had reached that sincere culmination with each other. But everything is an illusion. Everything is an illusion. And with the many agendas against Black America, it's a wonder the bulk of our masses is all of the weak links. The rest of us are sane, able-minded, able-bodied, and focused on what we should be focused on. Because this is a lot. This is a hell of a lot. I wouldn't want nobody to know either if I were white. I sure wouldn't. They're going to take all of this. They want to take all of this to the grave with them. They want to rush through another 100, 200, 300 years so they don't have to answer for any of this. But it must be answered. It must be acknowledged, accounted for. Because if it don't, Black America can't move on. I mean, it's really not rocket science, after the Revolutionary War. So after the Revolutionary War, many leaders began to speak out against slavery. Since many slaves and free Blacks had given their lives and performed many courageous acts during the war, leaders such as Benjamin Franklin, Noah Webster, John Jay spoke out against slavery. Several states passed legislation and wrote state constitutions to abolish slavery. Vermont abolished slavery in its constitution of 1777 and Pennsylvania in 1780. Massachusetts and New Hampshire followed in 1783. Then Rhode Island and Connecticut abolished slavery in 1784. New Jersey began gradually abolishing slavery in 1786, and New York followed in 1799. None of the southern states ended slavery, but Maryland and North Carolina passed legislation to limit the number of slaves that were imported. You can't bring a whole lot. They probably said you can't bring 10,000, but you can bring 1,000. In 1787, a law was passed to make sure that slavery would not be permitted in newly explored territory. This law was called the Northwest Ordinance. The Northwest Ordinance. It was drafted by Thomas Jefferson. It was drafted by Thomas Jefferson. A part of the ordinance states that there shall be neither slavery nor involuntary servitude in the said territory, except for imprisonment for crime. The Northwest Ordinance covered a large area from which the states of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin were created. Northwest Ordinance. And that's marked, it was drafted by Thomas Jefferson. And a lot of them, to me, they spoke with double tongues. You know, like Abraham Lincoln, his double tongue. That if I didn't have to, I wouldn't free the slaves. But I got to. And like Thomas Jefferson, wasn't he the one that was sleeping with Sally or raping Sally? They tried to say it was a story, it was a romance story. I don't think it was no romance story. She was a slave. Where the romance was at? What did he do? Tell her you can go outside and pick some flowers in the field and come back? I went and picked you some flowers out here by the cotton that you pick every day. Where the romance was at? Wasn't no romance. I don't believe it was. You know, but here he said that there should be neither slavery nor involuntary servitude. We'll find out if I'm wrong or not. I'm probably wrong. I don't know. But then wasn't he the one that said black people smell bad? And he was in that other book we was reading and stuff. He was just, double tongued, when it was known that black people didn't have resources, they couldn't go bathe and stuff. The black women couldn't go bathe and do proper hygiene for themselves because they were slaves, and the white master and the sons and stuff was coming and sleeping with them and wouldn't let them take care of themselves and stuff, So it was very double tongued to me. And maybe that's where all of this insincerity stemmed from. I don't know. But I know white America, y'all need to start being sincere about the shit, because, honey, it's spiritual now. This is a spiritual war now. It sure is. Cosmic energy, Mother Gaia ain't playing. Nope. Sure ain't. Well, the United States Constitution, I don't think this is it, but we're going to read it. After the United States won its independence in the Revolutionary War, it faced great problems. How would it govern itself? How would it collect taxes and enforce laws? Stimulate trade? How would it pay its debts? How is it going to deal with Indian tribes and Black Africans? Two leaders, George Washington and Alexander Hamilton, became more concerned about the problem. On May 14, 1787, a convention of 55 delegates was finally called to discuss the problem. They met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to revise the old form of government, the Articles of Confederation. But the delegates did more than revise the Articles of Confederation. They wrote a great plan for governing the United States. It was called the United States Constitution. The creation of the Constitution was no easy task. Many arguments and disputes had to be settled. One of the conflicts of interest was that of representation. Would the large states send more representatives to the Congress, giving them more voting power over the smaller, less populated states? After much debate, it was finally decided that one house of Congress would have equal representation regardless of its population, and representation according to population in the other house of Congress. Let me read that again. Ooh, yeah, let's read that again. It was finally, after much debate, it was finally decided that one house of Congress would have equal representation regardless of its population, even if it had to. And would have, regardless of its reputation. Wait a minute. After much debate, it was finally decided that one house of Congress would have equal representation regardless of its population and representation. Regardless of its population and representation. Even if it had two people and one person representing it. I guess that's what it means. According to the population in the other house of Congress. So whether that house over there got 500 and this house right here got 2 and 1 representative, it's still, equal. It's still equal representation with the other house. Just because the other house have more don't mean it's more. It's superior. It's upgraded. It's advanced. This decision was known as the Great Compromise. I heard about that somewhere too on a piece of paper somewhere. I wrote it down. I think that was the Louisiana or something. Compromise. Yeah. I think that was the Louisiana Compromise or something like that. Yeah. See, the education system failed us. Our parents and grandparents that put us in those parochial schools failed us. Just because we was in parochial school, we still needed to learn at home. We still should be homeschooled. I failed my children. Yeah, but I'm not failing my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. Okay, here we go. This decision was known as the Great Compromise. Another major conflict arose over how slaves would be counted in determining the representation to Congress. The slaves. Delegates from the northern states thought that slaves should be counted in determining how much taxes southern states should pay. But they felt that slaves should not be counted to determine representation in Congress. Southern delegates wanted slaves to be counted in deciding how many representatives they could send to Congress, but not for taxation. The South had many slaves, and this would give them much voting power in Congress. Naturally, the northern states opposed this idea. The northern states were like, you ain't finna use all your slaves to jump over, to get over. That's what I'm reading. I'm getting out of this. See, we're going to have to do this, read this again and talk and learn. We need some scholars to come up in here. We're going to have some other videos and shorts and stuff so we can wrap our brain around this because this is a lot. And we're here for it. So naturally, the northern states opposed this idea. The 3/5 Compromise, Article 1, Section 2. So, look at this right here. We have the Great Compromise, and I was thinking about the Louisiana Compromise. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. It'll come around when it's time to be. Yeah. Oh, the 3/5 Compromise. So there's the Great Compromise, and then there's the 3/5 Compromise. And the Louisiana Compromise. Is there a Kentucky, Louisiana Compromise or something like that? Y'all, this is a lot. We probably gonna need some notebooks so we can write down these phrases and stuff, these terms and names and stuff. Woo-wee. The 3/5 Compromise, Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution settled this disagreement. It said that 5 slaves would be counted as 3 free persons for both taxation and representation, since they couldn't figure it out. Since they couldn't figure out how to count the slaves, the 3/5 Compromise, Article 1, Section 2, if you want to go look it up, it said that 5 slaves would be counted as 3 for taxation and representation. Another disagreement between the North and South arose over federal power over commerce. They didn't want to be taxed for their export crops. They did not want the federal government to stop the slave trade. An agreement called the Commerce Compromise, another compromise. The Commerce Compromise settled this issue. It provided for the Congress to regulate trade by a majority vote. Regulate trade by a majority vote. The Commerce Compromise also stated that Congress could not prohibit slaves to be transported from Africa. It was agreed that foreign slave trade would continue until 1808. Another part of the Constitution, Article 4, Section 2 and 3, stated that a runaway slave who escaped to another state could be returned to his master if the master came to claim him. The Declaration of Independence had offered some hope for the abolishment of slavery, but the original Constitution offered very little hope. Oh, and see, look at this workbook right here. Name that issue. It's actually got listed below are 3 major compromises that help settle disagreements in the writing of the Constitution. The Great Compromise, the 3/5 Compromise, and the Commerce Compromise. And then you would write them here. And and you would do the little activity that it's got right there. I'm telling y'all, turn that TV off, shit. If we is looking at it, you better be looking at black media. Okay, the Louisiana Territory. And then I got to get out of here because, trying to see what time is. Keep an eye on the time. Ooh, it's 1:20. Yeah. The Louisiana Territory. Did you know that a black man was partially responsible for the acquisition of a large area of the United States called the Louisiana Territory? A black man was partially responsible for the acquisition of a large area of the United States called the Louisiana Territory. Here is the story. Okay, this is what happened. In 1801, Thomas Jefferson became president of the United States. He became interested in exploring a land route to the Pacific Ocean. At that time, the Mississippi River formed the western boundary of the United States. The western boundary of the United States. The territory beyond the Mississippi was known as the Louisiana Territory. And on the map, you see it going like that. Maybe we'll find one. It was owned by Spain. Farmers shipped a large variety of goods down the Mississippi River, such as flour, tobacco, pork, bacon, lard, feathers, cider, butter, cheese, apples, potatoes, salt, beeswax, hemp, beer, and that's bear, not beer, bear, B-E-A-R, bear, and deer skin. Bear skin and deer skin. These goods were exchanged for Spanish currency. In a treaty of 1795, Spain had given Americans the right to store and ship goods at the port city of New Orleans. In the same month that Jefferson became president, Spain ceded the Louisiana Territory to France. Spain had a weak nation, but France was a much stronger nation. Jefferson was afraid that France would become aggressive, take over the port city, and Americans could not store and ship their goods. So Jefferson directed his Secretary of State, James Madison, to warn France that the United States expected to have an outlet for their goods and that the United States was against the transfer of Louisiana to any other country except the United States. That's what he ordered James Madison to tell France. They spokespeople, they people. In 1802, Napoleon, the French ruler, had planned to send troops to take possession of Louisiana, just as President Johnson thought he was going to do. Napoleon wanted to establish an empire in America. This caused fear in the Jefferson administration. They were scared of that. President Jefferson urged Congress to appropriate money to buy the entire Louisiana territory and sent negotiators. At this time, France also ruled a small country in the West Indies called Haiti. Most of the people of Haiti are descendants of Africans who was brought to Haiti as slaves. So in 1791, a slave uprising took place in Haiti. Toussaint Louverture, Toussaint, Toussaint, Louverture, Louverture, was the leader. Toussaint Louverture was a black revolutionist. He organized a black army to fight against France. In 1793, the National Convention in France announced freedom for all slaves. In 1799, Toussaint Louverture became ruler of the island of Haiti and set up an independent nation where black people would rule themselves. Toussaint ruled wisely and well. Under his leadership, Haiti became a very prosperous, independent country. In 1802, Napoleon planned to pull Haiti back under the control of France. He decided to subdue Haiti and reestablish slavery. Toussaint was determined that he and his people would never be slaves again. Toussaint resisted Napoleon and his troops, but the Haitian army under Toussaint fought bravely. They all but wiped out Napoleon's troops. Napoleon's efforts to suppress the revolt had failed. In the meantime, Napoleon had been warned that the United States was considering sending 50,000 troops to take New Orleans. Napoleon knew that his troops had been nearly wiped out in Haiti. On April 30th, 1803, France sold the Louisiana Territory to the United States for about $15 million. This vast area of land stretched from the Canadian border south of the Gulf of Mexico. It occupied the large area from the Mississippi River west of the Rocky Mountains. And the Louisiana Territory gave the United States great resources. Yep. All or parts of 15 present-day states was carved out of this large territory. Let's call them off. They include Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Texas, and New Mexico. I think we're going to call this an end. Maybe the abolition era. We'll go through that right there. Ooh, now we're going to have to save that, because when we read about the abolition era, we'll be reading about abolitionists like Frederick Douglass. And you know, there was some, right here, there are some white abolitionists too. You know, I've only heard about Harper's Ferry, John Brown. But the other day I was talking about Elijah Poole. I think his name might have been, Elijah Lovejoy. Maybe that's who it was. But yeah, this right here has got a couple of white abolitionists who were against slavery. But yeah, we'll save this right here for tomorrow. But yes, I know, isn't this awesome? Teach our babies. Go get you some books and read. It's a new day. Peace and power to the people. Yeah. Just know whose side are you on. That's it. Who does your loyalty belong to? Us as a people, we got to make sure we okay now. Everybody else okay. Everybody else is okay. I promise you. Yeah, I promise you, all the other people are A-okay. They are right. You know, they got resources. They definitely got a bunker they can go to, you know, when the shit hit the fan. You know, but Black America, we got to start looking out for us. That's just it. It don't mean we hate other people and stuff. You know, we don't hate nobody. You know, yeah, we never have hated anybody. We just don't understand why everybody hate us. You don't have to hate Black people. We don't hate y'all. We don't, you know, we're not seeking revenge against no one else and stuff, you know. I will say we finna quit having babies with y'all asses. We need to. Because see, even that, white America, white, yeah, I'm saying white America, because that's where this started at. You the one got everybody else treating us like stepchildren. White America, you the one got the whole world treating us like we are outcasts. You did it. You made us think that we were equal, we were included, and everybody else went along with you. So hell, you keep their ass. We done having babies with y'all asses too. For all the love. For all the love we claim is out there. Oh, we love Black people. We love everybody. Everybody love everybody. But yeah, so peace and power to the people, y'all. I'll see y'all tonight.